Welcome back. We're going into map number 2 between hanf and miou. Once again, hanf is the yellow night elf player, and once again he's the one spawning on the left hand side. And it looks like he's gonna go for a tavern hero build here. Ancient of War first, no altar just yet. And as this is Echo Isles, I guess very likely is that we're gonna see a Dark Ranger first by him, whereas miou on the right hand side of the map is gonna start with a standard build order as was to be expected. Pretty sure AM first, and pretty likely, I guess, based on what we've seen him play and what we've seen in human versus night elf in general in this tournament, is that he's gonna go for an instant expansion. Well, maybe he's gonna surprise us though. Who knows? Could also be another tower rush. Then again, against the Dark Ranger first, well, we haven't seen it yet, but I would be pretty surprised if it was anything else. Against a Dark Ranger first, or even any other tavern hero except the Panda, maybe.
Your building is complete.
Excuse me, a tier 1 tower rush is, you know, somewhat unlikely to be working. But we'll see, you know. At the time, around the time this game was played, tier 1 tower rushes in human against night elf were extremely popular. Humans tended to do not all too well against night elf in the late game, generally speaking. And given that the repair rate on towers was higher at the time than it is these days, if I recall correctly, in patch 1.22, which was in the spring of 2008, the repair rate of peasants on scout towers and upgrading scout towers to whatever was nerfed. But back in 1.21, when this game was played, it was still a lot higher than it is these days, and therefore cancelling the towers with archers, etc. was more difficult than it is these days. Interesting creep route here by miou, getting only the null route, quickly picking up the tome and heading towards the bottom immediately, hardly wasting any time here with those militia. In the meantime, yeah, Dark Ranger first picked up by hanf, you know, as was to be expected after seeing the early build order. Bunch of archers is being produced here, the wisp is floating in, and snares are on cooldown. Actually, he could have gone in there and tried to get the water elemental killed, but decides not to do so. miou is gonna get level 2 here, thanks to him creeping the null brood before going for the natural expansion. And hanf is going to get level 2 here, obviously, as well. Looks like he's going to pick up the Forest Road Shadow Priest here. It's not 19 o'clock yet, so no Forest Road Berserker just yet. Wisp is being seen here, needs to be pulled away by hanf, and miou is heading across the map immediately. Doesn't want to have the action take place at his side of the map, and really wants to make sure to make use of one of the weaknesses of this Dark Ranger, which is that it's not as easy for the Dark Ranger to basically just quickly repel some, taking some damage there, quickly repel some aggression by the human player and push the game into the right hand side of the map immediately. So miou is just gonna run around here, do some harassment, try to get his expansion up safely in the meantime, and hanf is gonna have to defend here. The Forest Road Berserker now has been picked up. Footman really should make sure not to engage here though. No way in hell that he's gonna be able to do anything there. Miss micro there by hanf. Actually, he could be losing this Forest Road Shadow Priest, but he gets it out, and miou already engaging a little bit too much here, losing one Footman here for free. The second one should be surviving, but taking a lot of damage. Wisp is coming in here, Ancient of War being built down there by hanf, and miou is not seeing that. One tower finished here, definitely gonna need that against the skeletons, against the Dark Ranger. miou is falling back, is getting a second barracks here, yeah, so he's feeling the pressure already. And rightfully so. I mean, look at this army of hanf, and then look at these 2 footmen and the AM of miou. Doing a bit of blocking here with the skeleton. miou waking up the creeps, should really make sure not to get surrounded here. And hanf is finally going to get across the map here. And this one tower isn't really all too threatening just yet. on the side of miou, who's putting a bunch of militia right now inside of the main base, and he's gonna be, have to use those to defend against his aggression. First archer is taking quite some damage. First of the peasants gets taken out. Hanf wants to get a bunch of skeletons here. This one actually not affected by Dark Arrow as it was dying. And the Dark Ranger out of mana already. So, bit of a not so great engagement there by Hanf, losing 2 archers pretty much for free. This one has to retreat as well. The next Forest Row Shadow Priest is coming in. miou attacking the Ancient of War right now, but it doesn't seem like he's got the damage output currently to take that one down. But the Forest Row Shadow Priest, wow, gets taken down immediately as well. So miou is doing a decent job sustaining his expansion here currently. Hanf moving around a little bit awkwardly, not really the perfect positioning there by his ranged units. Yeah, now things will get a little bit more tricky for miou. He's just going for the Ancient of War though. Not engaging past that one. So this Ancient of War proves to be of some use at last. Tower gets cancelled, this footman should probably be taken down. And the Ancient of War is finally falling, so both of the players suffering some not so insignificant losses here early on. Dark Ranger 3.5. AM still not level 3. He needs to get some blocking, yeah, and he does so. Archer should be able to run away from this footman successfully. miou's tier 2 tech is halfway finished already, and he's got the mass footman production going here from the double barracks. In the meantime, Hanf with a Tree of Life though. His tier 2 is only slightly ahead of miou. Hunter's Hall should be finishing in time. And yeah, miou is gonna have his tech finished quite quickly here. Gonna creep to level 3 with his AM and a couple of footmen. Does he have a shop somewhere? He's getting the shop at his expansion right now. Got a bunch of footmen on somewhat low HP, so yeah, regeneration scroll at some point should prove useful. Next water mantle is not coming in here. I would have imagined him summoning another one to... Okay, now he does so. Maybe it was on cooldown, that's why he was waiting. But the Ogre Mauler apparently doesn't feel like attacking the water mantle. Hanf is creeping his expansion, another bunch of mercenaries. And miou adding the blacksmith, so are we just gonna see the regular timing push here with double sanctum and one workshop? I guess it's kinda likely. miou has put himself in a decent position. The tier 2 tag of Hanf just finished now. Lores just coming now. Panda still level 1, so yeah, things could be working out nicely for miou here. Counter expansion not yet running. Going for the Mud Golem. AM is being slowed though, so maybe he's gonna be forced to Town Portal eventually. Breath of Fire is coming in by the Panda. AM is actually able to run towards the left hand side. And Hanf is just creeping here. Alright, taking down the Nightcrawler. No XP tome for him. Retreating with some of his units. This is a pretty awkward position for miou here. A lot of skeletons, a lot of damage output here thanks to the heroes. Nevertheless, the first unit to fall is actually an archer. Bunch of wisps coming in. Another one of Hanf's units actually falling. So miou is getting a lot more out of the situation than I thought he was gonna be able to do. Finally, the push is being repelled right now. This wasn't all too terrible by the human player. And let's take a look. Double Arcane Sanctum and a Workshop coming here. So yeah, the expected unit composition. But a Blood Mage second by miou. Very, very uncommon, especially for, you know, the time this game was played in. These days, you know, Blood Mage is played once in a while at least. But against Dark Ranger Panda also not exactly the to-go hero choice. But we'll see. Maybe miou is going to prove that that's a justified hero choice. Going for double Rifleman production as well, so it looks like he wants to get pushing quite quickly here, and I guess there's no reason not to go for that, because Hanf, yeah, as I said, his tier 2 tag was somewhat late, his expansion wasn't exactly super early, so giving Hanf less time to prepare here might prove useful in the long run. Then again, if Hanf manages to get up to bears, manages to get his panda up to level 3, these riflemen might prove to be more of a liability than, you know, a use for miou. Dark Ranger level 4 already as well, so level 2 silence and level 2 dark arrow on the field for the night elf, who's producing more and more dryads. He's not even going for tier 3 just yet. So he's gonna have to take some awesome engagements here with those, especially given that usually if you stick with a lot of dryads, you wanna have a strong demon hunter, high level and good items to be able to tank and provide some damage output. But he's got the Dark Ranger in this case and the panda, so pretty unconventional. Expansion in the meantime is fully running. He's adding Moonwall here. And getting more and more XP on this panda. Miu's up at 72 supply. First mortar team added, a bunch of riflemen added. A bunch of casters added, of course. No breakers yet. And yeah, it looks like Hanf is gonna go for some trading, but I'm not really sure if he's not simply way too late here. I mean, miou's army is already looking quite, well, difficult to beat, to say the least. Blood Mage level 2.5 as well. Just heard a mortar team spawning, wondering where that went. Guess it must have been picked up immediately, and Town Portal is coming in by Hanf. He has to expand his, defend his expansion right now, but he's only got a bunch of dryads, so he's gonna have to do some miracle work here. A Scroll of Protection used by miou. Drunken Haze Breath of Fire is coming in beautifully. Mana is being drained from the panda here. The first mortar team has been taken down, and these dryads are pretty much in a perfect position. The Flame Strike isn't really doing anything. Panda has to retreat. The next kill by Hanf is getting a perfect engagement, losing his second dryad just now. But killed quite a bunch of units already. The panda does have so much mana. Big mana potion, small mana potion, and the Pendant of Energy. Another caster is being sniped. Slowly Hanf seems to be running out of dryads though, but all of the casters except for one have been taken down already. Big mana potion has been used by Hanf. Drunken Haze Breath of Fire is coming in. He's taking this fight beautifully. The next water metal is being spawned here. The guard tower is being cancelled in time. Dark Ranger is being drained out of mana. Not the panda for some reason. Drunken Haze Breath of Fire is coming in, and miou's army is melting here. Hanf seems to be, I'm not sure if he's probably just winning this fight despite having like, what, 15 supply less when it started. Next Breath of Fire is coming in and level 5 on the Dark Ranger. And Hanf has just completely crushed miou, who has only got his AM and his Blood Mage left standing. Town Portal just kind of lying on the ground there. The panda picked up the Town Portal, and the AM is even gonna fall here. Yes, AM is falling. And all of a sudden, miou is in a completely lost position here. A game that was looking, wow, a game that was looking like a minute ago very, very promising for miou. But that fight was just so much better by Hanf, who did get his panda in a good position. The Drunken Haze Breath of Fire was sitting perfectly every time. The dryads were split nicely. He took out the mortar team first. He was getting good focus fires on these casters, taking them out one by one. Every Breath of Fire was hitting beautifully. miou perhaps should have taken, you know, things a little bit more slowly and pick up some heal scrolls to deal with that Breath of Fire. But he was at, what, 72 supply, I believe? 72 supply, yeah, and Hanf was at 60. So, you know, things should probably have worked out for miou, but yeah, what can you say except that Hanf just managed to take that fight a lot better, and he completely crushed miou. Then having the TP lying around on the ground was, you know, just the tip of the iceberg. And yeah, Hanf takes the game here, 1-1. Pretty surprising ending to this game, but this means we're gonna have a final game, and it's going to be on Secret Valley.